Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. So today I'm just going to show you guys how I make my quiche. I love quiche. You can do this a couple of different ways, but I think you're really going to enjoy this recipe. So if you're interested in learning how to make a quick quiche, stay tuned. Okay, so the ingredients for this recipe are, this is 1 crown of broccoli that I've already cooked down and chopped. You're going to need 1 8-ounce package of whole mushrooms, which we're going to chop. I have a whole yellow onion. This is fairly large, so I'm going to probably just cut this in half and then chop that down. You're going to need fresh Parmesan, salt, and pepper. You're going to need a couple of slices of Swiss cheese, which will layer at the bottom of a pie pan. 3 eggs for the batter, a pie crust. This is a deep dish pie crust, and of course some margarine or butter for cooking the vegetables, which we'll go through. Okay, so the first thing I've done here is taken about 2½ slices of the Swiss cheese. I broke it up into small pieces and I just layered the bottom of the pie pan with it, the pie crust with it rather. I've also gone ahead and scrambled the 3 eggs that I have. I have my Parmesan cheese here, and this is actually about 3/4 of a cup. You want to go ahead and use all of this. This is going to help give some texture and just some more flavor to your mixture as well. Okay, so what I've done here is chopped up my onions. I've got a tablespoon of butter in here, and I'm just sauteing them very, very quickly. I actually don't want them to get too brown. I just want them to soften up a bit. And remember my tip about cooking with onions: when you first chop them up, I know that they can make us tear up a bit, so as you're cutting them, put a little bit of salt on top of them. It'll make the odor go away, and then you won't cry. How about that? As soon as this is complete, which is just a few seconds, I have washed my mushrooms and dried my mushrooms. I'm going to chop them up very fine. I'm going to saute them as well, yet again with a tablespoon of butter, and let them brown just a second, and I'll add them to the rest of the vegetables. Okay, so I've got this on kind of a medium to high heat. This is the chopped up mushrooms, again with a tablespoon of butter, a pinch of salt, and a pinch of pepper. And this is kind of why I saute all of the vegetables separately, and it really doesn't take that long. But the mushrooms will start to bear down a lot of juice, and you want to make sure that that fluid doesn't get in the rest of the batter. So after you've really kind of browned these just for about 60 seconds, you want to strain them. I do it the old school way, and I just put a lid on top of it and pour it, out the sink like that, but that's just me. If you have like a cute little strainer or something, you can use that. But you see how some of that fluid is kind of coming down? You don't want any of that in your mixture with the rest of the vegetables. You don't want it to get soupy or make the other vegetables taste kind of mushroomy. The mushrooms are here just for flavor. It's not an overwhelming thing. I don't even really like mushrooms, but I love to put them in this particular dish. So just be sure to strain that fluid out. And since this is the last part of the batter or the mixture, make sure you go ahead and preheat your oven at 350 so that it starts to get warm while we finish up the vegetables. Okay guys, so here are all the vegetables mixed together, or I'm mixing them together now. You're just going to get these really good together. It's so good. I promise you, this is so good. And what I like about quiche is you can do this with anything you want. You don't have to do it with the vegetables that I've chosen. This is just the recipe that I really love. It's nice and rich. It's got a nice rich flavor to it without having kind of the heaviness of maybe like a breakfast quiche that would have ham in it or something. However, if you did decide to make a breakfast quiche, what you would probably do is take out your broccoli, keep in the cheese, or maybe use a cheddar or an American cheese instead, and use more egg batter than vegetables. So you could say use onions, tomatoes, ham, and cheddar cheese, and you may add a 4th egg as opposed to having a whole half of an onion, maybe a quarter of an onion, and a whole small Roma tomato or something like that. But that's a suggestion. That's just a
So anyway,
we're going to mix this up just like so. And what you're going to do is start to put the first portion of this and layer the bottom of your deep dish pie pan. So now that you've got that first layer in there, you're going to take some of your egg and Parmesan cheese batter, just like that. Not all of it, just half of it. And you're going to spread this around and just kind of let that mixture really get balanced out. It's probably going to be fairly thick. If you want to thin this out, you can use maybe like a quarter cup of milk or something if you don't like kind of a heaviness. This will not taste eggy at all, but it will thin out this batter for you. You can always use less cheese if you're not a cheese lover like me. But this is just the way that I like it, so I think you guys will like it too. Once you've done this, you'll go back and put the rest of the vegetable mixture and the rest of the egg mixture, and we're going to layer a couple of pieces of broken up Swiss cheese on top of it as well. So this is what it looks like before we put it in the oven. Go ahead and stick this in your oven at 350 for 30 minutes, and I'll show you what it comes out looking like. Okay everybody, so here's the finished product. Oh, it looks so good. You'll want to let this sit maybe 10 or 15 minutes on the counter. Just let everything kind of settle. It's going to have a texture somewhat like a cake would. So when you do cut into it, you should be able to get nice, firm, clean slices. I can eat this by itself. I could eat the whole thing by itself. It would go good though if you wanted to use this as a replacement for a vegetable with dinner with maybe some chicken. I find chicken or like a white fish or a tilapia is probably going to be the best partner if you wanted to put a meat with it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. Thanks so much for your support and love and watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!